Yvonne, morning Lindsay, morning Jenny. Right, ladies and gents, let's begin. Put the baby in the corner. Oops, that didn't go well. Right, ladies, no gents, just ladies, in your own time, just coming into our set position. Morning Mary. Heels just underneath your hips and a little bit of length through the spine, so you're being as tall as you can be. That length into the neck so your eye gaze is forward and level. Palms turning into the thighs, bring a gentle squeeze into the shoulder blades, but focus on opening up the front of your collarbones. The hands slide down, the ribs connect slightly towards the hips, and we move then into our pelvic tilts. We take a breath in. On the out breath, we just create a little bit of length and stretch in the lower back as we draw the tailbone towards the heels. With the in-breath, we're letting our hips gently tilt forwards. So trying to breathe out through the mouth as you draw the tailbone down, start bringing a connection to our abdominals, and a soft breath in as you tilt your hips forward. Keep lengthening through the neck, through to the crown of the head, so that when you move your lower back, you might notice there's a little bit more stretch occurring in the lower back area. As you let your hips tilt forward, you feel how the ribs and hips separate a little. As you draw your pubic bone, you're kind of closing that distance between the ribs and hips, and that's when we're more engaged through our abdominals. So we're going to settle ourselves midway between those 2 points, holding our neutral spine and taking a sway onto the balls of the feet, and then gentle sway back into the heels. So we're trying not to change the position of the spine or the hips. We still got that feeling of lengthening and holding the ribs down. So as we sway forward, there's no change of alignment through the spine. The knees are staying ever so slightly soft. And again, try not to go onto the toes, feel the balls of the feet, and then ease back into your heels. Keeping the shoulder blades drawn down, we can add in a double arm float, holding your neutral spine, and then swaying back to the weight shifts all the way into your heels. Allowing the heels to be light as you sway forwards, and then allowing the balls of your feet to be light as you sway back. You can allow the heels to peel a little off the floor, just to challenge your balance a little further. And lifting the toes, lifting the balls of your feet if you can, and then again swaying forwards. Using the out breath as you sway, and then a soft breath in to ease back. And just once more in each direction. So hopefully just getting a feel of those deep muscles working to maintain our neutral spine. And then holding in centre. Let your palms face the back of the room so your shoulder blades separate. Keeping the ribs in place, we take a breath in. As we breathe out, just want you to turn your palms forward and feel your shoulder blades gently drawing towards each other. So don't think about turning the wrists or turning the hands, think about the shoulder blades. As you draw the shoulder blades together, your palms will naturally turn around to the front. You breathe in. As your palms face the back, you'll notice how your shoulders slightly roll forwards. So again, as we turn the palms all the way around, we slide shoulder blades towards each other and we're open through the collarbones. Now again, when we open up the collarbones, try and be aware that you're not pushing forward with your rib cage and changing the position of the spine. So we're still very focused on holding our neutral spine and just bringing that connection and mobility into the shoulder joint itself. You can feel that you're reaching down from your middle finger towards the outside of the knees. And just going with 2 more here. Breathe out for the opening, drawing the shoulder blades together, opening up the collarbones, and then a soft breath in as you release. As you turn your palms forward this time, keep the palms facing forward and bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Again, without pushing the ribs forward, we're going to come into a dumb waiter. The in-breath as you come to the centre, and breathe out as you open. We add in a heel raise. Your right knee pushes forward as your heel lifts, and then place it down. Then your left heel lifts. Now imagine you're holding pencils underneath your armpits, so you're keeping your armpits squeezed closed, and to keep the elbows right in underneath the shoulder line. Try and breathe out as you open, and then take a breath in to release. As we're starting to add in the foot pedals, we're starting to now think about our hip stability. Trying to keep our spine in neutral and aware that you're not letting your weight rock from side to side as you alternate your feet. So good for our postural muscles through the upper back to maintain that nice tall lengthened spine. And just coming into your last one with your left heel. and coming into the centre, keeping the shoulders down, float the arms forward. We alternate the arms and the heels, connecting our ribs and lifting our pubic bone. Then we're going to alternate from one foot to the other. Feeling the knee tracks forward in line with the middle of the foot. And still trying to get your shoulders directly above your hips. So you're not letting the arms go too far back and you're not letting the ribs flare. So as much as we focus on moving through the feet and the arms, we're very focused on what's happening in our midsection. So it's always maintaining the alignment and stillness of the spine while we get mobility through the shoulders, the knees, the hips and the ankles. A couple more on each side. And then as you come into your last one with your left arm lifting, both heels come down and we step to our tandem stance. We step the right foot forward, all 10 toes facing forward and balance the weight even. Start again from your neutral spine, knees open a little from the hips, shoulder blades draw down and then we float the arms up. We're going to come to a wide bow and arrow, so the elbow leads, we open to the diagonal and we draw back into centre. Then the opposite elbow opens, reach out to the diagonal and ease back into the centre. Breath coming in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. The whole time we're trying to keep our shoulders directly above our hips. We're trying to keep that little opening through the front of the collarbones, especially here when the arm comes forward. So if you bring your hands in too close, those shoulders are going to come forward. So we're really focused on keeping the front of the chest open and broad. Feel the rotation through the neck and through the spine. Feel the shoulder blade initiating the pull in towards the spine. Nice big breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Coming into your last one on your left. From here we're going to float the hands down and we're going to come into single leg squats. So you're keeping your weight in your left heel, your right foot comes forward and the feet then come back to hip distance. From here back into our neutral spine, palms are in, shoulder blades are down. Hinge from the hips first, we need the bottom to move back. Then as we sit back into the hips, we're going to hold here and come back to those scissor arms. Trying to keep the spine still. Both hands stop in line with the shoulders and then you push up and rise. So lean back with the bottom, keep the length into the neck. Thinking about the ribs as the arms move, try not to let the ribs flare. And then push through your left heel and drive the hips forwards. With breath. Take a breath in as you sit back. Chin is in, breathing out as the arms open, slow breath into the centre. Out to open, soft breath into the centre, and then breathe out and rise. Just reconnect those shoulder blades. And again, as you come into your squat this time, focus on the shoulder blades holding in towards the spine. Keeping the balance and pushing out at your left heel. 4 to go here. Now think about the ribs. As the arm lifts, you might feel your ribs want to move a little away from the hips. So we start to become really focused on our upper abdominals. And if we keep the upper abdominals switched on, when we lift the arm, it's not going to let the back arch. And you're working within a range of movement where you can comfortably hold that neutral spine. Your last 2. Breath in through the nose, shoulders relaxed and down. Out to open, slow breath in. Out to open, slow breath in, and then breathe out to rise. One last one. Check the shoulder blades are back and down. Feel the length into the neck, all the way down the spine. Feel the weight in your left heel and push up and step in. Bring your left foot forward when you're ready. So back into that tandem stance, looking at all 10 toes facing forward. And if the knees tend to drop in here, they're going to definitely drop in here. So we still need that connection to our outer thighs by gently drawing the knees out from the hips. Tailbone is tucked, shoulders down, float the arms forward. Left arm, take a breath in. Breathe out, drag the hand back into centre. So we're going to come in with the breath and then breathing out to reset. Just check the shoulders are directly above your hips. And then you can imagine you've got a pole stuck up all the way up the length of your spine. And try and imagine your spine, your neck pivoting around that nice straight pole. If the toes are starting to scrunch up and grip the floor, try and relax all 10 toes. Keep pulling the crown of the head up gently towards the ceiling. So again, it's helping us to maintain that lengthened feeling through the spine. And the more length we can keep in the spine, the more rotation we should be able to encourage around the full length of the spine. We're thinking about our hips though, trying to keep a little squeeze at the bottom so the hips stay nice and square to the front as you rotate. Opening from the shoulder, squeezing with the shoulder blade, stretching back into that middle finger, and then dragging the hand back into centre. Once more to your right. And then we ease back in and we float the hands down. Left foot comes wider, and as you take your left foot wider, and you lift the heels, you've got a nice straight leg, palms in, settling back into your neutral spine. With the hips, pull the hips back first. As you bend the knee, the arms float. Ribs are down, and we start to add in our seesaw arms. Hands stop in a line just below your shoulders, and you drive your hips in. Breathe in. Breathe out when you're ready to open. Take a slow breath in. Out through the mouth, in through the nose, and breathe out to rise. When you're down in that squat here, before you move the arms, just so you can push your hips just a little bit further back. You'll feel more work then into the front of the thigh and into your glutes. And then it's a little challenge for your balance too. Be aware that you're keeping your left leg straight, so you're pressing down through the ball of the foot, but you're pulling the bottom back to encourage length down the left leg. And you might even notice a bit of a stretch down the back of that left thigh as you pull back into your hips and press down through your toes. Think about the length into the neck, so try not to let the head drop, so the ears still nicely aligned with your shoulders. 4 to go, no rush. Feel the weight placed through your right heel. Squeeze the right buttock and push your hips forwards. So you can pull the hips just a tiny bit further back. We should be starting to feel the work in the quads and in the glutes on that right leg. Push down through the heel. Your last 2. Collarbones open, neck long, and your ribs down. So much to think about while keeping your balance. Your last one here. And hopefully we start to switch on some of those balance muscles, and we're going to put them to the test next. Slowly rising and bringing both feet back in underneath your hips. We're going to come to a heel lift and then into our knee lift. So when we lift the knee, we're trying to make sure that we hold our lower abdominals in and up so it stabilises our pelvis. Right heel lifts. Transfer your weight to your left, take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the knee and lift the arms. You're going to open your right arm straight out to the side, let the head turn, then easing back into centre and placing the toe down, ball of foot then heel. Left heel, left knee pushes forward, then it lifts, and then we open slowly. Again, still looking at maintaining that nice length all the way through the spine. When we lift the heel or the knee, that's sometimes when the hips kind of almost want to tilt to the side. So really try and be aware of your hips staying level as you lift the knee. And if you're like me, it'll be easier on one side compared to the other. So I have to work a little bit harder when I lift my left knee to keep my hips level. So a stronger brace through the core, pulling up through the crown of the head, and then holding as you rotate. Now, as we rotate, we're not just looking at rotation through the spine, but we're still looking for a connection into the back of the shoulder. So the elbow is soft. Start to feel your shoulder blades squeezing into the spine. The opposite arm stays perfectly still. And we control it down back to your start position. Think about the length through the spine, still staying as tall as you can be. Keeping one arm still, drawing the shoulder blade back, turning through your rib cage, turning through the neck. and then easing back into centre without wobbling over, and resetting. 2 more on each side. Just be aware as you lift the arms, the shoulder blades, the shoulders themselves don't rise up towards the ears. Slow controlled movement back to the centre, toe, ball of foot and then heel. So it's a nice controlled roll through the foot. And that's going to help to encourage some mobility around the ankle, the knee and the hip. And your last one on each side. Out on the lift. Take a big breath in and open. Breathe out to close. And then take a breath in to release. We're not going to put the left knee down this time. So once you've finished your rotation, I'd like you to hold in the centre. Turn your palms forward and bring your arms back in line with your shoulders. You're going to extend your leg back and press your palms gently up towards the ceiling, no higher than your shoulders, and then pull your shoulder blades together. It's like you're serving a tray of drinks to someone with a little bow. But again, as you hinge forward from the hips, think about your core. Keep lengthening through the spine and stretch back if you can into your big toe. So as you push the big toe away, it's going to help to engage your thighs and your glutes. And then a breath in as you rise. As the arms come forward, don't let these shoulders pull in towards each other. So we're still trying to keep these shoulders as open as we can as we hinge forwards. Nice alignment at the top. Breathe out, stretch into your big toe, squeeze down the thigh. Take a breath in. 2 more on this leg. Out on the hinge. Ribs are down, tailbone drawn towards that back heel, and a soft breath in on the way up. Your last one here. Feel the length through the neck, feel the shoulder blades still connected, and then knee back in line with hip, and place that foot down. Change legs when you're ready. So shoulder blades are pinched, right knee lifts, again we check the hips are level, neutral spine, palms face forward. As your leg extends, keep the collarbones open, maybe just stretch to here, and then bring the knee back through. Try not to lock out your left knee. And as you move backwards and forwards, you're trying to keep the weight mainly through the heel and the ball of your foot, not your toes. Bit by bit, you might feel that you can hinge a little further forward, but again, still very aware that we're holding neutral spine. Even when you hinge forward, don't let the weight go into the toes. So you need to push the bottom back to help keep the weight into the heel and down the back of the leg. Make the out breath strong as you start to hinge. Draw the shoulder blades down as your palms press up. Soft breath into centre. 2 to go here. Out through the mouth. Standing leg working. Slow breath in on the rise. And come into your last one. Nice long straight leg, stretch into that big toe, and then pull up through the knee just below hip level, and then you can reset and turn your palms back in. We'll alternate the legs with some backward stepping lunges because the glutes have just worked extremely hard. Up in the knees, hands down by your thighs, stepping back with your right leg first. Tuck the tailbone, sink into your back knee, lift up the arms, circle the hands and press them back to your thighs. Left leg strides back, sink into the knee, push out your front heel and press your palms back to your thighs. With the breath, we breathe in, sink into the back knee. We breathe out, push through the front heel and squeeze the armpits and the shoulder blades together. So today we've got lots of focus on what's happening around our shoulders. As the arms lift, try not to let the shoulders rise up towards the ears. So before you lift the arms, hold down with the shoulder blades, stretch up into the fingertips, and then push out the front heel. It's tempting sometimes to lead the shoulders forward as we step back. Take the shoulders back all the way above your hips. Feel the weight in the front heel. Push and squeeze your armpits closed. Breathe in slow. Now breathe out strong. Press the heel into the ground. Don't forget to take a second to find stretching your hip flexor. So we do need that tailbone tucked under here. So as we pull the knee down and reach it with the arms, it really starts to open up across across the front of the hip. 4 more. So you go a little deeper into that back knee, checking the ribs are down, the shoulders are down. Push through the heel and squeeze down your armpits. Nice and controlled all the way through the movements. So there's no rush. Gives us much more time to think about our alignments and our posture. Tucking the tailbone, pushing it through the heel, squeeze down the armpits, and one last time. So it really starts to open up the front of the body. Push through the heel and gently rise and hold there. Right, so we're going to come down to the floor next. So when you're ready, we're going to come onto our backs into a lying position first of all. We're going to come into some leg work, and we're going to add a few different moves in today and see where we go, see how it feels. When you lie down, you can have your head on a block or a cushion, or on the floor, it's perfectly fine. We're going to start with the feet, the knees, hip distance apart, and we want that length in the neck. Even though we're lying down, we don't want an exaggerated curve through the back of the neck, so you should never be looking to the ceiling behind your head. As you draw your chin down and kind of rock the skull away, that's going to help to lengthen the neck. Let's turn up the palms and bring those shoulder blades towards each other, and then slide your middle finger down towards your heel, so you feel the shoulder blades pulling down to the back of the ribs too. Right knee comes above hip, then your left knee. So we're from here, don't let the knees come over the belly, keep the knees here, and just slightly tilt your pelvis back, so your back's in a soft imprint. We take a breath in. On the out breath, you extend one leg, keeping the back in imprint, then a soft breath in to the centre. Left leg extends, and then a soft breath into the centre. Breathing out through the mouth, and taking a slow breath in through the nose. Try and keep your chin slightly drawn down. So again, never look into the ceiling behind the head. Now we're going to add in a little crunch. If you prefer, keep the head and shoulders down. As you extend the right leg, scoop your hands forward and lift, and then take a breath in, chin in as you roll down. So nod the chin in first, slide the hands down so your ribs start to pull towards your hips, and that will help us to engage our upper abdominals more. Sometimes you just want to lift the head. Use the arms, reach down, feel the ribs pull into the hips and follow that pull of your ribs. Soft breath in on the way down. On the next one, you've got the option to take it into a double leg extension and then easing back slowly, chin to chest and head rests. Reach, ribs slide to hips, double or single leg extension. Notice the legs aren't coming low. We're reaching them more out to the diagonal, so we can really focus on holding our imprint. Now with head lifting or the head staying down, as we reach forward this time and we hold, we're going to scissor the legs just an inch or two, not too much. One up, one down, 4, and then hold in centre and come back to your start position. And again, if you're not lifting the head, same thing, we extend single or double legs and we just move them up and down. Keeping the legs straight. Once you've done 4, you bring the knees back in over the hips. 2 more like that. So slide ribs to hips, fingers towards the bottom of the mat. Small movement, keep the legs straight, keep them high. Once again, you've done your 4. Roll back down through the spine. Breathe in with me. Breathe out, reach, slide ribs to hips and extend the legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come back in. We've got 4 more of those, but I'm going to do it slightly different with the legs. So as we come up, same thing, push the legs away. Now we're going to scissor legs, 1 on top, 1 underneath. For 2, 1, hold, and then roll back down. The out breath, reach in, 1 leg comes up, 1 leg comes down, just a little, so it's not a big movement, and it's time to challenge our obliques, and then easing back to your start position. 2 to go. Make sure that chin comes in first, make sure those ribs are still pulling down towards the hips. and a slow release. One last time. Can you reach a little further forward with the fingertips? Maybe take the legs a little bit wider, see how it feels, but keep it controlled. And ease down gently and release. Bringing the feet down close to the bottom. We're going to come into that hip bridge. So both feet on the floor for the first couple, just to release our hip flexors. We're in our neutral spine, palms still up, and reach towards the heels. Chin is in, tilt the pelvis back, and just take a nice release and roll through the spine. Squeezing the bottom to find that hip extension with the ribs staying down, so you're in neutral here. And then easing through the upper back, imprint to neutral. Again, the out breath on the roll. Press down to the heels, down to the shoulders, and squeeze up with the bottom. Now we're going to come into a single leg hip bridge. You've got two choices. You've got three actually. Keep both feet on the floor if you prefer, and just lift your right heel. Or your right knee at tabletop position, or your right leg up straight. If the leg's up, flex the foot so the foot is parallel to the ceiling. If it's the knee again directly above the hip here. Working through your left leg, we tilt the pelvis. We roll up through the spine and we press the foot up towards the ceiling. We hold, bend the knee to 90, extend the leg back up, and then roll back down through the spine. Use the out breath to roll, press up with the foot, squeeze up with your left buttock, hold, just taking the knee to 90 degrees, back up towards the ceiling, and then lower down through imprint to neutral. If you're starting with a bent knee, when you come to the top of the hip bridge, you've got the option to try and straighten the leg, then bring it back to 90, and then roll back down. If you're keeping that leg straight, press it with the heel, so it's helping to bring a stretch into the calves, into the hamstrings. Keep squeezing that left buttock, reach up towards the ceiling, flex the foot, and roll back down through the spine. There's just two left on this leg. Just a little check in with the head to make sure that chin is nodded in. Feel your weight even through the back of your shoulders and control the roll through the spine. One more time. Remember, you can stop the foot resting on the floor if that's for you today. Knee at 90. Reach up high, flex the foot, and roll down with control. Bend the knee and place the foot down, fairly close to your bottom so the heel's in line with your knee. Now you can either lift the left heel, the left knee, or your leg up straight. The legs up straight, pull the toes back. Imagine you've got a plate balance on your foot. Palms are up to the ceiling, shoulders away from your ears. Tilt and roll. Picking each individual vertebrae up and hold. Keep the bottom squeezed and try and bring the knee down to 90. Squeeze the front of the thigh to straighten the leg and flex the foot, and then roll back down through the spine. Out breath on the way up. Press it with the heel. Press down with the shoulders. And again, if you're starting with your knee at that 90-degree angle, then you can try and add the leg extension at the top. So if you're lifting from here, you again get the roll up through the spine. You squeeze the front of the thigh to straighten the leg as much as you can. Then you bring it back to 90 and then control that roll back down through your spine. 3 to go. Breathe in as you bend the knee. Breathe out, keep the foot flexed, the sole of foot parallel to ceiling. Keep pressing it with the heel as you roll down through the spine. You get much more stretch into those hamstrings. Pressing down with the shoulders as you push it with the heel. Bring the knee to 90 degrees. Push the heel again up to the ceiling. Try to keep that feeling of pushing it with the heel as you roll down. Just create a little bit more of your own resistance if you need it. Once more. The right buttock doing the work, keeping that squeeze into the right buttock to keep those hips level. And then gently easing down. Bringing both knees in. Give them a little hug just to release the back and the glutes. We're going to come into a roll back next, because that movement of the spine starts to help us, and it's that same feeling of tilting the pelvis back as we go into our roll back. So we can have both knees here above the hips. If you prefer, you can hold the back of your knees to begin with. Chin is in, we take a breath in. As you breathe out, you can draw the knees in, and then take a soft breath in as you lower. So the pelvis tilts back. Again, you can use the hands to help you drop the knees and then roll back down. If you're quite happy, just working through the spine, you can let the hands rest, peel up through the back, try and roll the back down and bring your knees back to 90. So use the out breath. The pubic bone draws to the belly button. That initiates the tilt. Keeping the chin nodded in. You can use the back of your arms to help you come up, but try and relax the arms as you roll back down. And don't worry if you're not lifting too high. You might find that you can just hold that tilt for a second and then roll back down through neutral, imprint to neutral. You might want to try it with straight legs. Try and roll the spine down with control and let the legs come back up just above your hips. The in-breath as you ease down. And the out-breath to release. Almost like a massage through the spine. Don't be afraid to use the back of the arms. Again, you can press down with the arms, press down with the shoulders to help you get up. Then try and relax the arms and the shoulders. And try and think about controlling the lowering phase using your abdominals and easing down through the spine. Just twice more. Out breath and that reach back. Soft breath into release. Your last two. Or your last one, sorry. That was your second to last. This is definitely your last one. And then holding in centre. We're going to take the legs out to a slight diagonal. Not too far. So again, just away from your body a little so you're able to keep that lower back down onto the floor. Once you've taken your legs out into this diagonal position, turn out your feet so your heels are together, your knees and your thighs. We're going to bring the knees wide like a little frog, and then you're going to push away back to that diagonal line, keeping the feet in turn out. We breathe in as the knees open, and then we breathe out to push away. Soft breath in, checking the back isn't lifting off the floor as you extend your legs. Imagine you're holding a 20-pound note between your heels. So even when your knees open, you're not letting those heels separate. Squeeze and push. Keep that turn out of the feet. You want to feel the knees, the calves, the inner thighs come together. Good for our hips. Breathe in to open. Breathe out, push. In through the nose. Little pause. And then out through the mouth. Two more here. Feel the legs seal close. So you'll squeeze the thighs, squeeze the calves, squeeze the knees, and then open slowly. And then holding. Turn the feet back into parallel. We're going to circle the legs. They go down a little and come out and back into centre. As we lower the legs, we focus on keeping our back in a soft imprint. Letting the legs come out as wide as you comfortably can while maintaining the imprint of your spine. There is no rush. In breath, breathe out, pull, and bring the knees and thighs back together. We're going to reverse those circles. This time we go out first. So take them out, bring the feet together, and pull back to centre. Think about the ribs. Keep drawing the ribs down and keeping the back in imprint. Smooth circle from one move straight into the next. One more circle. So challenge through the hips. I promise it's really good for our hips as well. Bend the knees to 90. Bring both feet close to your hip bridge, feet hip distance. Lift up the arms as you lift up your hip bridge this time, and take a nice big reach back. Turn your palms up to the ceiling and then circle your hands back towards your knees. Stay with the hips and just stay with the arm circles. So we want the bottom squeezed, shoulders pressing down, and to make sure we're holding a neutral position, keep squeezing through the bottom, keep pushing it with the hips. As the arms go back, try not to let the ribs flare. Turn up the palms towards the ceiling here so it really helps to open up the shoulders. 2 more circles. And your last one, big breath in. Breathe out to circle around. And as you bring up the arms, bring down your hips. Let's have a roll onto our side. Got time for some scissor legs on each side. I've not done these for a little while for some reason. Forget about the best ones. So you've got your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders all aligned. Your head rested, and this top shoulder, give it a roll back. Try and make your top leg fraction longer than your bottom leg, and then lift the leg just to hip level. Bottom foot comes just off the ground. Close the ribs and hips, and as we scissor the legs, one leg moving forward as one leg moves backwards. Now again, as you're moving through the legs, try not to let the shoulders rock backwards and forwards. Everything from your hips and above staying perfectly still. And you might find the knees want to bend, especially when the leg goes behind. So have that feeling you're still stretching out into your big toe. The hands on the floor, it's light. If you feel well balanced, lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now as you continuously make that top leg a little bit longer, it should help to keep this bottom rib just off the floor. Breathe in as you open, breathe out, pull back, into open, out to close. 2 to go in each direction. And then holding both legs in centre, bring your feet, your thighs together, double leg lift for 8. Try not to let the feet separate. So we're not lifting high. Using that bottom leg to push up the top leg for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can relax the legs down. When you're ready, just take a hold of your top foot and just stretch out the leg on this side while we're here. Bring the knee down, push your hips slightly forward and try and encourage your heel back towards the bottom. If the knee's coming high, try and again pull it down so it's level with your hip. Draw the ribs down at the front slightly and then thrust your top hip forward. Push the knee down towards that bottom foot so you're lengthening the knee away from your body. And that's a good release, that well worked thigh and hip. And then you can release that leg. We're going to change sides when you're ready. So in your own time, I'm going to bring the hand down, ease yourself up and then ease yourself over. Sideline position, everything from ears to ankles, perfectly aligned. I expect nothing but perfect now. This top shoulder, again, try not to let it hitch up towards the ear. Draw it back and down so the shoulder blade is physically drawn into the back of the rib cage. It's switched on the stability muscles first. Your top leg a little bit longer, so your bottom rib slightly lifts. Top leg level with the hip, bottom foot just hovers off the floor. As you start to scissor your legs, one moving forward, one moving backwards. It's definitely harder on this side. Try and keep the pelvis still. And if you feel balanced, you can pop your hand onto your hip. So you can move as slowly then as you need to keep the pelvis still. I definitely have to slow it down on this side. Ribs are still connecting down towards the hips. Breathe in as the legs open. Breathe out as they close. Your top leg still ever so slightly longer than your bottom leg. So you're constantly trying to push your way through the toes. If you're feeling well balanced, try and lift the arm. Think about drawing the ribs down. Lengthening through the lower back, so your tailbone softly drawing away towards the heels. That should help set your neutral. Give you a stronger foundation as you move. 2 more in each direction, nice and slow, nice and controlled. We'll wobble, I will. And then when you've done that last one on each side, your legs, your feet, your thighs come together, not high, bring them quite low. From here you're going to take a little lift, Try not to let the knees or the thighs separate as you lift your legs. Out breath on the lift, in breath to lower. 4 more. 4. Lost my balance for 3, 2, and your last one. And rest. Take the top leg. Bring the knee down. Pull the heel as much as you can towards the bottom, just to open up the hip and the front of the thigh. Whenever you're ready, you squeeze that top buttock and almost feel you're thrusting the hip forward. Then feel like you're pushing your knee away from your body to create more length and releasing your quads and your hip. Breathe. Nice big breath in. Breathe out, see if you can push the knee a little further away or bring your heel a little closer to the bottom or thrust the hip a little further forward, whichever one you need to do to encourage that stretch. And then you can relax. Let the foot go and come over onto your hands and knees. So if you come onto your elbows, so hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, unless you're on your elbows. Whichever position you're in, we're just going to work through our cat stretches. So I want the length into the spine, the tailbone drawn away, and then scoop your tailbone under. Try and keep the upper back flat and just move through that mid back. Then allow yourself to roll into your upper back. As we lower the tummy towards the floor, we let our eye gaze come forward and we let our rib cage, our heart and our bottoms lift. So we're pulling the hips and ribs away. Then back into your neutral. Keep the head forward, tuck the bottom first, move through the lower back. Ease into the mid back. And then letting the chin tuck in and glancing towards your thighs. The breath easing in through the nose. You're bringing your heart forward, you're lifting, you're lifting, you're lifting. And then again, drawing away with the tailbone, drawing up with the belly. Eye gaze to thighs, crown of head hanging to floor. One more time, coming up into that cow. So as you lift your tailbone, it's going to pull your pelvis away from your ribs. And as you lift your rib cage and your heart, it's going to pull your ribs away from your hips. So you should feel a nice stretch into those well-worked abdominals today. And then holding, coming into the centre. Your toes are tucked from here. Lift the knees, walk the hands or the elbows back, or come in whichever way you feel is best. The hands rest just in front of your feet. We lengthen the back of the neck to release the neck, the shoulders and your spine. Give your shoulders a little wiggle here. Just let them go. Suck the belly button softly up to the spine and take a breath in. As you breathe out, let the crown of the head feel a little heavier, like it's hanging to the floor. Now push your weight back into the heels, and so you can push your bottom slightly back, and that feeling that you're lifting up ever so slightly, just so you feel a bit more down the back of your legs. Whenever you're ready, hands can walk up the shins, or just letting the arms hang, as you gently ease and roll back up through your spine. Chin stays nodded in as you rise. And as you roll all the way back up to the top, the shoulders roll back and they roll down. We take a nice big lift of the arms, making your right arm a little bit longer and your left arm longer. Your right and then your left. Once more on each side, stretching into that middle finger. And then when you're ready, lift up both arms and then pull both hands back down to your thighs. Pull up the shoulders with a big in-breath and the out-breath to relax. And again, once more, breathe in with the lift and out to release. And well done, ladies. Good work. Thank you very much. Well strengthened hips in there today. And core.